And there's that extraordinary moment when she's been dumped once already, and then Theodora gets her back. And then Diana says, no, no, I want you after all. And so he dumps her again. So this heartbroken woman is on stage. This heartbroken woman is on stage, and she's just about to tell us what it feels like to be left again by the man you love, who you've taken back. Even in agony and pain, you've taken back, and he's dumped you again for the same woman, the same lying, callous way. And I said to the actors, it's really, you should be really, really, really so upset that you can't speak. You can have a couple of beats of not speaking because you need to be in so much shock you can't speak. And in the silence, a woman said, "Oh no, not again!" It was like she could not say it. And in several of the previews, in the wedding, when the commander and his men come into the wedding, people have gone, "No, no, no," and that's when Lope's working, because it's kind of somebody, a wonderful woman, I was talking to a woman after, she said, "I've seen lots of Shakespeare," she said, "It's not as exciting as Lope." Well, let's not compare. But she said, when those women got up to go and fight the commander, she said, "I wanted to go with them." That's great writing, isn't it? That's great writing. I don't think Shakespeare's goal is to kind of make people that engaged. That's not his goal. But I think he does. He gets you by the seat of the pants, and he makes you kind of believe in the story and empathise with the story. That's his great skill, I think, is inspiring empathy. So, please.
Okay.
I would like to praise your staging. I really enjoy it. Above all, because you got the spiritual element that many times when they perform Fuente Ovejuna is only the political. And I like very much you gave it a soul to the object, to the well of the town. But you gave it also, I would like to ask you, why did you make people to recite the Agnus Dei? Because it goes to what you said at the beginning, but before they go to the kings, they have to pardon themselves. It's the spiritual element that I don't see in other performances, and that was, I admire that.
And that's, I think that, I don't want to get, because Jack got really annoyed when I started talking about it being a religious parable. There's such a battle about this play, isn't there? And people go, "It's a political play." No, it's a religious play. It's both. It's both a political play and a religious play. And I think the last section, why we have the Agnus Dei and the Gloria and the Magnificat, is because there is a spiritual victory. There is a spiritual, because I think this kind of brutal conflict is part of our the kind of animal that we are, and mercy is part of the spirit that we are. And yeah, I think for Lope there is a spiritual dimension to life. I think he believed that the world was a magical, divine place, and that something magical and divine happens in the play. So
and
that's
also
why.
The Spanish
and I wanted to bring them back. Now I do worry. I really worry. Anytime I add anything to Lope, add anything other than his scenes, I just. So I was very concerned about the slow motion fight. I almost cut the slow motion fight 3 days ago, but I thought it would just upset everyone too much, so I didn't. But that's added, that's not in the script. He doesn't say they fight. And it's like, should that be there? Is that interrupting the rhythm? Oh, I don't know. And what we call it, the return of the tortured. Because it's so incredible that he chooses that device of what we call the radio play to do the torture scene. I think it's brilliant writing. You've got two people on stage hardly saying anything, and we're all watching them listen to a radio play. It's a very experimental bit of writing, very original, and in a way the only way within a non-realistic theatre that you could do a torture scene. But I think I thought they deserved to come back. I thought those peasants who've been tortured deserved to come back, because that is the great miracle of the play. How did the 300 people survive being tortured? It's not. I don't think anyone survives being tortured. If I would go to the torture room and say, "Is this torture room? What do you want to know?" no knuckles, no anything. Who do you want me to betray? It's fine. You're not pulling my fingers out. No, you're not putting electrodes on my testicles. No. I'll tell you anything. I just do not understand how 300 people, including, 300 people from that community, including children, can be tortured and not confess. It's a miracle.
We have to
One
start
go?
thinking about, yes,
5 minutes.
Yeah, we have to go to the...
Go on, you're
For
next.
my list.
Yes, you're
Can I
there.
go for one?
Yes.
No, well, I think that the actors, by the way, must be very, they must have a lot of benefits from changing the meter. As an actor, forcing yourself to go to another, that must be great. But okay, just
Yes, yes.
now that I
Although they do complain as on the journey to the new place, they complain.
no, well, now that I heard you about this contamination of violence,
Yeah.
because that's one part of it. I mean, it's a very demanding production. I really loved what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
But as a theater person, I kept thinking of some things in
Sure.
the second act.
Sure.
And one of them is the return, the songs after the death of the commander.
The songs after the death of the
When I
commander.
read the play, I said, wow, this is shocking. But when I saw it, I was shocked, completely shocked. And I understand now, they were contaminated because I thought that maybe it wasn't at the same bloody moment, that it was maybe after. And I was thinking myself, maybe we did it like they are already past some days. And,
Yes, yes.
but I don't know, what do you think about that moment?
That scene, I think they're kind of the height of their bestiality, if you like, isn't on stage. We see them turning, and then we see them coming back. So I think that Victory to the King and Queen scene where they sing the song, it's actually they're coming back, and you can tell by the Mango song. By the time you get to the Mango song, although there's brutal imagery in it, there's humour in it, and Lopez turning us around again. He's saying they're kind of the virus is subsiding. So that's how I understand that
They
scene.
want like return to their lives in a way.
Yeah, they return to normality, but they can't. I mean, Jimmy Blendick came up with a great. I was talking about that scene and about that, and he said he just quoted some examples of troops in Vietnam who go and American troops who go and slaughter villages. He said, and they go party for 3 days. They couldn't sleep. And they party, they drink, they take drugs, and they just be on a high for 3 days, and then they collapse and have breakdowns. And I thought that was very, how do you recover from getting up the courage to go and, as a simple peasant and take on, 50 trained soldiers and just kill them? You can't just go, oh, well, now we'll go to bed. You're on a high. So that we thought they'd been up for 3 days. That was a debate. Should it be 6 days? Should it be 1 day? 3 days. They've been up 3 days, and they're just coming down of it. And the real down is Esteban comes in. He says, "Take that down. Just take that head away." And you go, "Okay, the party's over." Because that escape, you see, that is, that's. I think that's Lopez. Pretty good. Yes. Fuente, Ovejuna.
Well, that was a wonderful stroke. I was really when they took that head.
Were you? Yes, good. Because that head is the symbol of scapegoating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. The commander was bad. You can't. He did bad things, but he is not. He's not the only thing that's going on. He's not. And how do you deal with it? That's the question Lope asked. How do you deal with these monsters? Well, be careful, because you might end up becoming stained with their madness.
Okay, we have to go over to the concert. Laurence, thanks a lot.